we did talk about the Jonathan Major thing. Okay. Now, I want to even go in a little bit deeper. Uh, I don't know how I'm gonna put this. I might put it in between that too. Maybe I might add it in. But the situation is that I believe that black people don't care about their public image as a whole. That's what I'm thinking about. That's how I view it. What
Okay.
do you think?
Um, Not that much, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
How's that?
Our image, I can't control what other people think of me, right? People of other races, they're ignorant, they're ignorant. We've been fighting for um just our civil rights, just the right to use the same bathroom as the people back in the 60s, right? When Martin Luther King um marched marched for those rights, the rights to sit where you want on a bus, to go to the same school. He did it peacefully, right? Um, we were worried about our image then, and what did we get for it, right? We got hosed and abused, right? And people didn't change their minds about us. Okay, so I'm not concerned about what other people think about me, because are they concerned about what we think about them? Think about it. Are wealthy white people, do wealthy white people care what you think about them? No. Do people in power care very much what you think about them?
See,
Not
but
really.
see, that's what I think the fallacy is. That I think us as a society care what we think about other people. I just that's how I feel it, right? Where again, if you don't, you wouldn't care about stereotypes. You wouldn't care about, let's say the thing where uh dreadlocks, thing like that, right? Where
Mhm.
people talk about they care more so much about cultural appropriation, things like that. We do care how other people view us. Now, just like I said in the Jonathan Major part, black men have a damaged image where they're viewed as violent, they're viewed as criminals. So I hope I could change your mind where that's the fallacy of it, where we do have an image. Or let's say this. I will say this, even Asian men, we have a terrible public image. We Our public image, people think we're short, people think we're passive, people think we're feminine, right? People think we have small dicks, you know. That I care. So really, that's I believe that's wrong because again, it affects your community and affects how people perceive you. Because I've seen it, right, where women just don't want to date me because I'm Asian. Although I mean, like I'm not gonna kill myself because I care so much. But again, it still affects us. Just like a cop, like let's say you were dating a white woman, and your white girlfriend falsely accuse you of being an abuser. Well, a cop sees you, a black man, they're gonna guess that you know what she's probably right. So that's the fallacy in your argument that we should
What
care
can I
and
do
we
about
do
that?
care. Huh?
What can I do
See
about
what? See that's the thing, right? What
do about it?
I'm hoping that although we're small and we're nobodies, right? We're nobodies. We're not PewDiePie, shit like that. I think that we can do something in the sense that I hope we can perpetuate or help spread a better image or expand people's mind. Let's say this: if and why I choose my friend here to be a co-host is that he is a man that's uh not like that. He's not a violent man. He's not an aggressive man. He's a man of integrity, morals, values. Uh, he's not. He doesn't perpetuate street life. That's not him. That's not the kind of person he is. And that's the thing where I've seen young men. Young men I've talked to. Okay, young men I try to give advice to, where they don't want to be like that, but they're perceived like that. And if we don't do it ourselves to say has to stop. We don't want to perpetuate it. Where, like I said, where with the Jonathan Major part, we had black creators already pushing the image out to hundreds of followers, thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, that he is an abuser and he's a villain. That right there, if that changes, that would be significant. Where we actually have, and I want us to be the voice of reason and a different voice where we actually tell people don't do that.
And I agree
People,
with you. That's the right thing to do. Um, I hope we can make a bit of a difference that way. And I do think in general, everyone cares about how they're perceived.
yeah,
But let me make this point. Like, if I'm walking down the street and a woman is walking the other way, and she believes the stereotype that all black men are dangerous,
yeah,
I'm not going to change her mind, right? And trying to change your mind, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do like this, and I'm going to smile at her and nod, right? Because I care about what she thinks. No, I'm going to walk where I'm going. I'm minding my business, and I don't care about her. If she want to cross the street because she's an ignorant idiot, that's fine, right? If I'm driving on the highway and I'm wearing my favorite hoodie and I'm playing my favorite rap music because I like it, I gotta turn it on or off, and I gotta take my hoodie off and put on a tie so a cop doesn't think I'm a bad guy. No, I get to live my life like everyone else does.
no,
Right?
no,
It's people who are willfully ignorant. It's their responsibility to educate themselves because the information's out there, and we're doing a service, right? We're telling people this is how it really is, right? But if they don't want to listen, that's on them. And it's a shame because it does affect us. The way people perceive black men affects the way they treat them. But for how many years have we been proving that wrong, right? I mean, it's a general perception that black men are bad fathers. That's not true.
uh,
That's just what
no,
they portray in the media, and it's awful.
exactly.
But the only thing I can do if I'm a father is be a good father, right? I'm not gonna go out of my way to convince somebody else to change their mind. I'm just gonna do what I know is right. I'm a good person. I'm gonna just live my life and behave as a good person. And if you're too close-minded to see that, that's on you. You see what I'm saying? So I think black people in general are tired of trying to convince other people that we're good people. We're the
No,
same as everyone else. We just
yeah.
gotta live our lives. You know what I
No.
mean?
Let's say this, right? I agree. We have autonomy of owning ourselves. We control what we do. Uh, if people want to stay ignorant, that's I 100% agree. You can't control other people. Now, my goal for this channel, this podcast is that we're controlling our own selves. Where I want to promote, like he said, uh, fathers, deadbeat fathers, is a crazy notion, right? Saying that black men are automatically deadbeat fathers. I would want to go deep with that, but things like that, I want to break. I want to contribute to breaking these terrible ideologies, these terrible viewpoints. I said what I'm hoping with us, with this channel, with this podcast, is to, show the difference. Show people that your views of people are different, or there are different people in this world, right? Where you shouldn't just base things on your own preconception. And what I also want to do is that have accountability. That's where I believe in, right? We should, and I want to perpetuate that, where I'm about accountability, where I'm going to show you that I'm accountable for my actions, and my actions that I want to promote a better image of, let's say, Asian people. I want to promote a better image of black people, right? Again, like, let's say this. I have a terrible view of Tyler Perry because I believe he perpetuates a bad image of black people. We can always go into that more, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and why I showed right the first clip of these creators, these influencers, perpetuating the bad image of a black man. Right. This is about accountability, where I don't want to do that. We There are bad people in any group, in every group, right? But that's the problem, where we are constantly bombarding people with only bad images, with only bad ideals, right? So, and the people who are bombarding others with it are not held accountable.
Mm-mm.
They are fine with, let's say, the news media showing black men in terrible lights, like them, in street clothes and thuggish clothes. But while they could show a white man in a suit and tie, right? That's perpetuating a terrible image of people because you want to say that, oh, this man is a terrible person. This is what I'm saying. We're not held accountable to our actions not helping our brothers and sisters, you know? And that's the problem, where I'm saying, where as community, you should think about more than just yourself, right? But what other people do, that's they're up to them, right? If,
Yeah,
let's say this, we perpetuate a good image of a black man, but a white woman still holds her purse and scared to see a black man, that's her.
yeah. She got
You
that.
have to hold true to your own morals, right? Your own morals and characters. That's what I'm saying. Where I'm sad again about the Jonathan Major things, where these are black creators, black influencers, not holding true to their morals and already condemning a black man before the ending. That's why I'm saying the difference is, right. You could be prejudiced all you could be prejudiced, a terrible person all you want. You're not gonna make me do that. You're not gonna make me feed into your delusions. That's what I'm talking about.
I hear you.
You
I
know.
hear you. I agree. I agree. Well, I hope we get to talk to more people who are open minded, who aren't even if someone's watching this who has the wrong idea of black people or people of color. Hopefully, they're open minded enough to listen and change their mind.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so that would be a good thing. I hope I can help positively affect that. Uh, but I ain't walking outside worried about what too many other
No,
people think of me.
again, I do want to push that idea that, yeah, I'm not I'm not out here to change people's views, right? You do what you want. But I want to make a change where I'm not gonna perpetuate your views. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna perpetuate, let's say, the violent black man, because again, I don't believe that, right? I believe there are violent people, right? There are violent men out there. I do believe that, but again, that's just people. We have a problem where we're not distinguishing, bad from good anymore. We're adding more into it, like a bad black man. Why? It's just a bad man. This is it,
That's
right?
it.
Or just a bad person, because
Mhm.
there are bad women out there too. You know. Oh, I wanted to. Well, I'm gonna probably cut this out, but I wanted to talk about the trans thing, the shooting.
Oh yeah, okay. We can talk about that. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it, but we can talk,
I mean, like,
about
yeah. I
it
mean, like,
next time or
I don't know.
so.
We don't have to talk about it, but I mean, I just thought about, like, I want to go into that's a people. See what I'm saying? Like, criminals, they perceive men as criminals or
Yeah,
violent. That
yeah,
was a woman that shot up people. See, that's what I'm saying. And if you look in deeper, actually, there have been cases of women shooting up who doing mass shootings. There
yeah.
have been women doing it, right? It's just not publicized.
Right. I hear you. But violence is violence, and
Yeah, so it don't matter about the gender or sex you are. You're just bad people.
hmm
But I don't know. Maybe I'll cut this part out because we're not sticking on the topic or anything, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know any more. What do you? I mean, anything else you think about
I mean,
black people image?
no. I mean, some. All right. So we joke sometimes about it. Like, listen, you don't act up in front of white people. We make that joke sometimes. I don't think anybody really cares. But then there is. I will tell you that. and I think there's other reasons for it too. For instance, I'm just going to say it because I'm black. I can say it, right? We call each other niggas all the time, right? We don't. Now think about this.
What I know. What's
What-
your thought? I mean, what is your? I mean, going to deeper. What is your? I mean, what is your thoughts on that word?
It's,
So include it.
it's cool when I do it. It's a problem when they do it. That's my. That's how I say. So think about it. They created this word, right? As a derogatory to refer an ignorant. It was an ignorant word to refer to a black person, right? We're able to take something negative like that and spin it into a positive for ourselves, right? It's a it, because now we've taken ownership of the word and we decide what it means. I think there's power in that, right? But we get we sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes we get quiet around white people. We don't say it. Why? Because we talk about overcorrection. I don't want a white person to be like, oh, you shouldn't say that word. Like, no, mind your business. I can say it. You just make sure you don't say it, right? And all and I'm not giving, and I don't want to say it around the wrong person and they think they're cool and now they have permission to say it too. Right. So there are some things that we're careful about around other people who are outside of our circle. And so like we said earlier, everybody cares, at least to a degree, what other people think or what other people hear or see. But I just think in general, we've expended so much effort trying to clean up our image when we didn't ruin our image. All right. My ancestors brought here against their will, forced to build a country that Europeans stole, and then Europeans put out this narrative that we're lazy, beasts, right? Unintelligent, bad fathers, all that stuff. After we did all the work, so we know they're just lying. What you gonna do about that, right? So at this point, I don't think black people can spend too much time worried about what other people think of them. It's a losing battle. I mean,
here's my thing, like, right? Well, I was saying, like, there is some fallacy in the things you said, right? And again, I get it what you're saying. Let me say first, the N word. I feel like, in my view, it's ridiculous that you want to take back a word that's a terrible meaning. It never makes sense to me looking on the outside, looking at it, because it don't. I view it as that a terrible word that degrades you should be wiped off the face of the earth. So you taking it back and just repeating it to each other, it fascinates me, right? It's just like, why? It don't make sense to. Okay, I want to use this word against my fellow brothers and sisters,
but
make it our own word. Why would you want to make it your own word? Whether I feel like let's say this, like, growing up, people call me chink. I don't want to call my fellow brothers that word. I'd rather it be wiped off the face of the earth, because again, no matter how I say it, maybe a cool way, in a rap, whatever, it's not going to sound. It's not going to be like a word of honor to me, in my view, right? I do understand why black people do that, but I believe it's not the right way to do it. But I mean, again, that's not me, but people do that what they want. But I feel like that's a lose-lose situation, because you think about this. If you don't wipe that word off from the face of the earth, again, now people only, like I said, I've seen it. White people listen to rap music and they hear it all around. Now, a kid hearing that is like you calling other people that, like you calling it so freely makes it seem to a person's ear like, oh, it's nothing. It's not a bad word, right? Because you think about this, growing up, a child is not going to say the F word, not going to say all these words. Why? Because a parent tells them that these words are bad. Don't ever use it, right? We make these words sound bad. We make these words a taboo. Now, when a culture makes the word not a taboo, yet any other people will say it's taboo, it's wacky to me because now your music, let's even put the music part. Your music is really not made for yourself. Your music is made for a diverse culture. So now other people are listening to it, and now they are children are being like raised and thinking like, oh, yeah, this word's not bad. And I've seen white people use this word to each other. So it's like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't see the logic in it. I mean, and I've seen people's argument to it, right? So I'm not saying nothing to that. You know, whatever you believe, I get it. What you believe it. I just don't see the logic in it. That's my thing.
So and I'm not there are plenty of I don't speak for all black people. There are plenty of black people who's like, yeah, don't use that word. They don't use that word. Right, right. I understand that. Who was gonna wipe it off who's gonna wipe it away?
Well, I'm saying like this, right? And let's say this. Now, I mean, this is hypothetical, but like I said, the point is, right? The movement there was a movement where people were saying, "Don't use this word. Don't use this word. You can't use." I've seen it, right? People got canceled for saying this word, right?
Yeah.
So if this movement swerved in a way where no one uses it, right? I think it. I mean, like, no word can be wiped off, but I mean, like, we can make it taboo for everybody. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, it's not a logical thing because now it's in society's vernacular, especially black culture vernacular. But that's the thing where I'm saying, like,
It's a term we don't use it to insult each other, right?
I know.
Right? And here's the thing, it was never going to just go away, right? White people still use it, and they use it when they shouldn't because they listen to rap music. I hear you. In certain areas, they still use it as a derogatory term, right?
But I believe that, you know what? Technically, I believe that's less and less. I believe now white people are using it just the same as black people. I believe that's their idea. Like, oh, they're using it as like how a black person would use it, but it's just that you're not black.
Places that's what in America where they use it with the hard ER.
I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying, like, let's say the younger generation, if they're raised on rap music, they're using it. I've seen New Yorkers, I've seen Chinese people, I've seen Asian people, I've seen other groups of people using it. Like, but no different.
Even in those instances, and they shouldn't be using it. But even in those instances, it's not meant maliciously, and they don't have permission to use it. But they're not. It's not a poignant insult, right? So we've kind of changed. We've done our best to change the meaning, right? And also,
but don't you think? Okay, let me play devil's advocate here. I won't play devil's advocate. You make this word, like, again, I see other minorities using it, right? Especially if they have black friends. As okay, fine. This word is all. Let me say, being a devil advocate, this word is only bad if a white person uses it.
Good, really? Good. That's correct, and it should be. It should be. So you know where you're from. You know where you and your family's from, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And I'm assuming, but you've told me a little bit. You have family where you're from.
Yeah.
And people who have come over to the U.S., right? Voluntarily.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't know where I'm from, right? So my culture, I don't know what my culture is. I don't know where my home is away from there. My line, as far as I know, right? I mean, I guess I could do some research to try and figure it out, but my line and my culture and everything starts here, right? So really, I'm as close to, short of being a native of the land. And there aren't that many of them left because they were murdered, right? Short of being a native of the land, I'm as close to a Native American as you can get and not be a Native American, right? Blacks, African Americans are Americans. This is where we started, We got yanked from our homes and crossbred with everything else, and we are the new race that started here, right? So whatever we decide to make our culture, that's our culture now. And we took that word from those white people who abused us, and we made it our own word. Did what? And it's our word for brother now, right? And that's part of my culture, and you know about it, and you know its history, and you also know that it's ours, and you can't have it. I think there's power in that. I
I
think
mean,
there's power in that.
and again, I do understand the I understand the meaning of that. I understand what you're saying, right? I understand the meaning, logic around it, right? I do understand the logic around it. I just I just think it's not logical in my view, right? In the sense that using, like I said, my example, right? I know the word chink. I'm not Chinese yet. Growing up, any Asian, if you're Asian, this is the word for you, right? This is the derogatory term used on you.
Mhm.
I see no logic in it. If that, okay, I want to take back that power. I don't need that word. I don't. I see it. I don't need that
You
word for
don't
the
need
power.
that word. You
Yeah.
don't need that word, but you have a you know, how can I explain it? Um, Even though it's a derogatory slur that people may have used against you
Yeah.
and people like you, um, you know very well where you came from. You know what you call yourself and your family members, and you know it's not true. So it's ugly and it's hurtful, but I bet it's easier for you to dismiss than somebody calling me the N word, because
Hmm.
while that word is a derogatory term Americans use for Asians, the N word is so tied into our history that it's a part of who I am, whether
No,
I
I mean,
like it or not.
and you know what? It's like again, I'm not saying how they should do it or
Right? Yeah,
I think
I
it's
know
part of the
that. I
history.
know that.
Yeah, I
I
think
know
it's part
that.
of the history.
And so I understand your opinion, and like I said, there are plenty of black people who would agree with you. So I'm not
Yeah.
even saying you're wrong. I'm just saying from my point of view, it's so tied into the history of who I am. Right? When we started here in the United States, that I can't separate myself from that word. I'll never be able to separate it. So the best thing that I can do is make it positive, make it a part of my culture that I can live with, and now it is.
No, I mean, again, I guess we're going a little bit off topic in the sense that although
Ooh,
at the end of the day,
yeah.
at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
I wanted to where again we promote a
Yeah,
better public image for people,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
The word is not that important to me, right? But it's the meaning, the whole idea of like let's put a more better public image of each other, because again, we going deeper. I mean, hope we probably will in the future. Like, I don't care for Tyler Perry thing because it's terrible. It promotes terrible image of black people. Uh, very stereotypical images, which I hate. Social media, movies, TV shows, stuff like that. Rap, although I love listening to rap, but you know it's a terrible thing. Again, it's a contradiction for me, right? I love listening to rap,
Mhm.
but if it was uh um if it was like destroyed, I think it wouldn't be the worst thing for black culture because it still helps perpetuate certain things. Although I know people live certain lives, right?
Mhm.
The street life and stuff like that. But I don't believe it helps promote a better life for people, right? Because it helps enforce people's certain lifestyles. But that's the thing where um, again, I don't want to counter any people who live certain lives. I just want to like, have more accountability individually. Where if you if you don't uh, if you don't want to live that kind of life, don't do it. Right? Like the street life, the hood life, stuff like that. don't. You can be better, right? You can make it out of certain things, right? Or you can change certain things, because I believe, right, where social media, entertainment, it helps stick people within the box, the category that the entertainment is perpetuating, and I think that's a detriment to especially younger generation, right? Because I don't know about you, right? I just got this flyer on my doorstep about gang violence being even higher, or like just maybe not gang violence, but like inner city violence, shootings being higher than ever in our state. I'm not telling you where, but in our state it's being higher than ever,
Mhm.
right? And that's the thing where even where I was working, I don't know what you know about it, but there was like within the year 3 gun shootings right in front of our shop, right,
Wow.
right in front of our place.
Wow.
And that's the thing where I I saw someone die.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's like
That happened. That's awful.
it, and it is. It's like maybe I'm being idealistic, in the sense that it hurts me seeing, although we're not brothers of the same color, but I believe we're still brothers because we're minorities. We're men. You know, and I just feel like we're just human beings. And seeing that and hearing that, being surrounded by it, it's sad. Where I don't want any more of this senseless, uh, violence, and we're being stuck to live how in the world that we're living in. I don't want that anymore. I don't want people to be trapped in this kind of a cycle. Okay, I believe in 2023 we can make the change for not just our lives, right? We should have accountability to make the change for future generations. That's the point, right? And, yeah. So, and that's why I wanted to promote that. I wanted to promote why the Jonathan Major thing was so important for me to talk about, is that I want to hold us from a better standard, right? It should have been no minorities talking about his situation, right?
Yeah.
Or at least not painting his situation as one way. At least,
It
right?
should have been
You say that
anybody,
he was accused.
no matter what. I hear you.
Yeah, you could say that he was accused. You could say that what, this is impending. We don't know yet. We shouldn't push and say anything. He was accused of this. He lost this, or like she's that, and then we'll see what's going to happen. That's it. If you call him a villain when you don't have the full story, you're disgusting to me. That's it.
Boom.
Yeah. So, and you know what? In future video, we may talk about more about uh black man's image. Because I believe that it is still at it is very damaged. And I want to help perpetuate or hear his views, hear my friend's views on what does he think about certain topics within black man's image. Like he just mentioned, like Debbie Fathers, we will definitely talk about that in the future episodes, right? Because that is very important, right? Especially very important to me. Although I'm not a black man, I know how it feels to be a father and you know going through stuff like that. So we will definitely talk about that more. Uh, yeah. Any last thoughts of this part?
Nothing to add. I just look forward to having more of the conversations.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep. So that was fun. Uh,